What's up guys, and welcome back to another video on how to optimize your PPC campaigns on Amazon. Building out a brand on Amazon as an e-commerce seller is the hardest thing that you can do if you're in the e-commerce space. That being said, making more revenue is always the best if you have Amazon as your base and you can build that out from there. Right? Because Amazon PPC is the best way to actually get money or returns from the ad spend that you are spending in. So if you think about Meta, TikTok, and Amazon as platforms for advertising and for performance marketing, the best place to get results is Amazon. Just because in the vacuum, you have only one place where your Amazon PPC can go, and it'll go straight to people seeing and shopping specifically on that platform. That's why it makes the most sense for you to spend and optimize there first before going to social media. Now, if you started on Shopify and you've done the TikTok shop route and everything, that still works. But this video is specifically going to get into how I and how my team operates to create an optimal PPC audit so that you know exactly where you're spending and exactly where to make the right optimization. And so without further ado, I'm going to go over how you can optimize your campaign on Amazon. And what we're looking at right now is a PPC audit that we did for one of our brands. In a PPC audit, there are three things that you want to do. You're going to want to look at your PPC spend, you're going to want to look at your PPC sales, and then you're going to want to see which campaigns are creating and generating the most PPC spend and sales, and which ones that you can optimize from that specific point. And so I'm now looking at our PPC audit where we have a 90-day report. And in this report, you want to break a few things down. And this is going to allow you to see all of the spend and all of the metrics for success that are going to allow you to scale into more higher revenue sources and to create more purchases. And so we have the campaign type that's split up into three different types: the sponsored brand, sponsored display, and sponsored product, and which ones are being utilized. Initially, your brand can run perfectly only using sponsored product campaigns. This is because you can do specific targeting for ASINs or other competitors using the Helium 10 tool, the Cerebro tool, that's also inclusive of Helium 10 on a premium service. You can start harvesting keywords and exact targeting using sponsored product campaigns. This is assuming you've already passed and you've already done the automatic targeting campaigns to get you enough sales so that you can start spending more in the actual platform. So right now, after we look at the three types of sponsored brand, sponsored display, and sponsored product, those three campaigns, we then start to look at the metrics. And the metrics that you're going to want to specifically look for are clicks, the PPC orders, not the orders on organic, but the specific ones that have attribution to your campaigns. And then the reciprocating end of that, which is what is your advertising cost of sale, and then what is your return on ad spend for those specific campaigns. You can look at them all via a PPC spreadsheet or an audit spreadsheet that we put together. Right now we're looking at a sponsored product campaign, a brand that only runs sponsored product ads right now and has a return on ad spend of about 3.5 and an ACoS of around 28%. Now, the general ACoS that you're going to want to be looking at, if you don't look at all of the clicks and the impressions and you're not looking at exact data, is you're going to want to keep it below 25%. Now, below 25% advertising cost of sale is exactly where you want to be. And so then we're going to start looking with that in mind of how you can actually either conquer more market share or create more orders for your brand. So you have a PPC spend chart that we put together here and a PPC sales spend chart. And this chart's going to reflect which one is, we need to see the balance, and that balance is calculated through the advertising cost of sale, the ACoS. And then what you're going to want to do is break up each of those individual sponsored products, sponsored display, and sponsored brand campaigns into a different column and chart where you can see which orders per campaign are actually creating what revenue and what return on ad spend with which keywords. So now I'm looking at the highest ACoS campaign, the lowest ACoS campaign. We're going to want to target more of the campaigns that have a lower ACoS and a higher percentage of orders. So campaigns with a higher amount of orders in our column here, a lower cost per click, and then a higher click-through rate, more clicks, more impressions, and a higher return on ad spend and a lower ACoS is going to keep us in that mode of getting and filtering the purchases that we want and getting the results that we want to eventually create a higher return on ad spend. So the goal of creating a lower advertising cost of sale is basically just so that you can create more profit. And there are a lot of things that you can look at when understanding what the right match type and what the right campaign for creating more sales is. But the goal is to get all of your data on a spreadsheet like this so you can see what campaigns are performing specifically to generate more sales for you long term. And so if you have an average, right? And so right now we're looking at some of the campaigns performance. And right now, like, we have converting keywords with above 4 return on ad spend at around 13 and converting keywords below 4 return on ad spend at 20. And so if you just look at these two, like the ratio of the profitable and less profitable campaigns, we're looking at a potential problem here for long-term revenue that needs fixing. So the higher return on ad spend, the better you are. And that means sometimes you have to leave current win campaigns, some like located here in the sponsored product manual campaign that I'm highlighting, return on ad spend. These are okay, right, in the vacuum of PPC. But in order to conquer more market share, you have to start new campaigns. In fact, every week you want to start a new campaign to discover keywords, targets, media that you have not yet conquered. Because sometimes a similar campaign can actually result in better return on ad spend and a lower ACoS. And that's going to get you eventually a better overall profit and an overall higher monthly recurring revenue, right, for your brand. And so this is assuming that you've looked everywhere and that you've optimized the click-through rate and that images are nice and that you have all of the alt text and all of the SEO completely optimized, right? And the way that you can tell is if you turn off the PPC spend, you should still be gathering some organic purchases. Yes, you're not going to have a lot of organic purchases. Maybe you won't have as many as just 1 or 2 of the campaigns running from PPC, but you should be getting something organic or some organic traffic to your listing. So if that's already done, right, and you have that division and you have all of the data between the lowest ACoS campaign, the highest ACoS campaign, the return on ad spend, it's going to go hand in hand. And then the exact match, what type of phrase matches you're targeting, and the ACoS and return on ad spend between them, you can do 2 things. One, you can cancel out the campaigns that are not spending well or overspending and have a lower ACoS, and you can leave that as it is and let it optimize, even try to go and optimize SEO and click-through rate. Or if you have an above 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 return on ad spend, you can start conquering more market share through traffic generation. That can be through Google campaigns, that can be on your own Shopify. But if you want to keep it on Amazon, if you need more sales on Amazon, what you need to do is you need to generate more of the campaigns that are successful. And so not all of the sponsored product campaigns that we're looking at here are going to be product campaigns that we can just do a clone of or do a similar replication of. So we're going to probably start, if we're looking at creating more campaigns in this PPC audit, it's going to be, some of them are going to be exact match for a sponsored product, and we're going to go up here and see which one are doing the best. Broad match is doing well with a good return on ad spend. It looks like defensive campaigns are at 11.65%, which is good. And then we're going to look at the ones that aren't doing so well to see which ones we want to start avoiding or optimize so that we can get better results. And so when you go back and forth and you have the clicks through rate, the spend, the cost per click, the orders, the sales, and then the ACoS and return on ad spend as your column metrics, and then you have this in a chart that you can look at and see what are you really conquering and what are you really getting done as far as performance. From there, you can start going through every 2 days, even every single day if you're at a below 2-to-1 return on ad spend, and really make sure that your targets are in the right place. Because sometimes you're targeting totally different keyword that you shouldn't be targeting, or totally different campaign that you're overspending on, like sponsored display, and really you need to go back to the bare minimum and start doing sponsored product campaigns to boost your sales. A lot of the brand owners that I know, even in the millions, are not even making product campaigns or trying out new types of campaigns every week. And so really, the more time and attention you have towards this and the more data that you have, is going to allow you to predict and increase your revenue. You can't get anywhere without a little bit more experimentation. And I hope this little breakdown of our PPC audit will help you kind of get an idea of what type of charts you need to look into. We've got 2 different charts for PPC spend and sales. We have the initial types of campaigns and what their revenue is, and then it goes deeper into the full extrapolated version of the difference between high and low cost ACoS campaigns, and then the specific match campaigns that we're looking for that perform the best. Right? And that's just going to give you an entire view of everything. You're really not getting that much data from just looking at your PPC campaign manager. So you have to go and get somebody to look at all of the data so that you can figure out what's actually going to perform best for you long term. And that takes a lot of reporting, and it takes a lot of understanding of what's working and what's not working. And sometimes it's going to be a good exercise for you. If you don't want to do all this work and you want somebody to go on the technical side and make this happen and optimize your campaigns, even look at traffic generation outside of Amazon, which has been proven to be successful for 90% of our brands working with above 10 to 15 SKUs, then you're going to want to ask us and have us come in and look at this from a higher level and perspective. So if this helped, please give a comment or a thumbs up. And if you have any questions on the deeper intricacies of what we're looking at to create more revenue, just don't worry. Give us a comment or give me an email personally at sage@socialmedia.io. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Peace.